All right, let's do an actual movie review of a good movie. EK was excited I was going to talk about this. I thought it was really good. I was like, okay, let's see what Stallone's got, and I was quite impressed. The first like 10 minutes of the movie is almost like an animated story of a much better movie I would like to see. And it starts going over this background about these two kids who were like super powered kids, and terrible origin story, involves a fire and parents dying, and one becomes a good guy called Samaritan, one becomes a bad guy named Nemesis, and all this is subjective, of course, of what good and bad actually means. And they get into a big fight. Nemesis creates this hammer of his hate. It was like, so they actually had superpowers of forging, I guess. And so it's like, this is a very cool story. They have an epic fight, and apparently they both died and disappeared. And the police has all their stuff, all their costumes and their weapons and so forth. And they disappeared. And they were legends, and it happened 15, 20 years ago or something like that. And I was watching that whole intro of like, why am I not watching that movie? What's this movie going to be about? That movie looks awesome. But you start seeing the actual movie, and it's really good, and it makes me want to see that first movie even more. Because it all kind of centers around the perspective of this 13-year-old kid. And I think that's really important when it comes to telling movies about superheroes, because that is the target audience of superheroes. You can say that women are into comic books, are fine. Yes, some of them are. But the target audience of superheroes in particular is 13-year-old boys, because when a 13-year-old boy, especially in the streets of a city, a 13-year-old boy on the streets of a city starts seeing the evil of the world. They start seeing the evil of the world, and they may have their head down in a book drawing Samaritan's logo all over the place and drawing pictures of him and stuff like that. You start seeing the evil of the world, and it's a very natural and good impulse in young boys to say, this stuff is evil. I wish I was strong enough to stop it. And that's why I think it's good to have this 13-year-old boy as part of the movie, because he gets sucked into this gang, working for this bad guy. And in this world, the bad guys are all fanboy about like Nemesis, and I bet all the cops are like fanboy about Samaritan, and that's the way the world is in many ways. Is like, there's good and evil people out there, and it's much easier to get caught up in the evil. Much easier to get caught up in the evil. I don't want to spoil the movie because there is a really good twist in it. I don't even want to say any more about that, but the real hero of this movie is the young boy who makes the choice to do the right thing. And I think that's even the point of Stallone's character in this movie, is that every decision we make, we can choose to become a good guy, become a superhero with every decision we make. And that's kind of the point about like good and evil, is that the line of between good and evil runs through the center of every human heart. I think that was a Nietzsche quote, maybe. And that's very true. And even the baddest of us can choose to live a good life at any time, and vice versa, And so that's why I get in arguments about role-playing games. That's why I don't like alignments. Someday somebody could snap and become evil, and they could snap again the next day and become good again. That's the nature of morality. It's a daily chore. It's a daily choice to be a superhero. And that's, I don't know, this movie was very inspiring in that way, and I very much liked that aspect of the movie. However, I don't like that there was only two, and then they both disappeared. If I had superpowers, I would not disappear. It's kind of a little bit of kind of a detective story for a little bit for the boy, because he's like, I think that guy's Samaritan. Plus, there's some funny bits, like when he gets hit by the car, and he starts healing, but he starts smoking. He starts getting real hot, and he has to go back into the house because it's like a genetic thing. It's like his genes start healing him, and in the course of that process, he starts getting really hot. So he runs and like gets in the cold shower and just steam pouring out of him. And when the kid like snuck into the guy's apartment, he found his refrigerator or his freezer is stocked full of ice cream, and he's like, "What the hell?" Then you see Stallone sitting there eating ice cream. He's like, I get really hot when this happens, so I gotta cool myself down. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, you can have some ice cream. You know, it's cute in that way. I don't remember what it was rated. I don't think it's relevant. I think it was about PG-13. Oh, yeah. Yeah, it had a PG-13 feel. But I kind of would have liked more than two superpowered people. I don't know. I guess maybe I'm spoiled by Avengers and stuff like that. But I guess statistically speaking, like a genetic anomaly like that would very, very much be contained. Great name for the city. It was like Granite City or something. Anyway, Samaritan 2022, 9 of 13 stars. Yeah, I think I read that there's like a Samaritan 2 in the works. And I'm all for that, but is it going to be a prequel? Is it going to be the first story? It should be. Yeah, I mean, I was thinking about that after I watched the movie. It's like, why'd you do this? Why'd you do this George Lucas Episode 4 stuff? That first movie sounds awesome. You can cast... Are you afraid Stallone's going to die soon? And he's like, well, we got Stallone now. I don't know. He's still kind of barrel-chested, you know? He still looks like a scrapper, you know? I thought it was really good casting. Usually when I see Stallone in a movie, I was like, I don't know if he's Oscar. I don't know if he's right for this role. You know? What was it, Rhinestone Cowboy? Was he in that one? And, but I was like, he fit the role. I thought that was really good casting for Slash Stallone. 9 to 13 stars. Yeah, I want to see that first movie.